So welcome to today's episode. I'm sitting here with Matt Tobin, and he is a real estate agent with High Point. And I'm really curious, Matt, about how you got into this business. And I got a little bit of history on what you've done in the past, and it seems like an odd career path to go from the NFL to selling land in Iowa.
Yeah, it's a little unique. So, like you said, I played in the NFL. I went to the University of Iowa. I got a geoscience degree. Took a lot of environmental science classes. That's what I was passionate about, still am. And then I went on to the NFL. And after the NFL, I played 6 years in the league.
Who'd you play for?
Philadelphia Eagles for 4. Then they traded me to the Seahawks the year they won the Super Bowl. So I was out in Seattle when they won the Super Bowl. And then after that, I bounced between the Patriots and 49ers.
So did you have like a bunch of really big contracts? Like, did you get super rich?
No.
Ah.
Paid a lot of taxes, though.
Everybody has that question, right? Like,
yeah,
how much money did you make?
Right, yeah, no doubt. I still need a job after I was done playing.
Yeah, okay.
And so I had many different opportunities. What I wanted to do going forward, I just wanted to have control of my schedule. I got 3 young kids, and I want to be able to do everything I want, have it available to me that I can go hang out with them as much as I can, as well as do some hunting and things. So decided that I actually reached out to Jacob, the broker with High Point Land Company. How I found them is I was looking for land to buy in Clayton County, and reached out to Jacob and asked Jacob and Nick and asked them like what the typical day is like, how the schedule looks, and things like that. Obviously, I would have had a lot of things to learn, but it was pretty attractive at that point. So I worked on getting my real estate license, and then here we are now, about 2 years later.
So tell me what like a typical day would be for you. I've been around land quite a bit, but I've never been on the agent side, like to experience like, how many phone calls do you get? How many people do you visit with? I mean, how much time do you spend outdoors? What's it like?
Yeah, just kind of all depends on the day, but I would say your average day, you take 10 calls, depending on if you have auctions or listings, or if you're just getting started, you just got to go out and lead generate, meet people, let people know that you're selling land now.
Yeah.
But then once you are, you're taking phone calls of people interested in selling or looking for stuff to buy. And then if someone is interested in selling, whether it's a clean, flat black and square 160-acre farm out in Delaware County or a rough hunting ground farm in Clayton or Jackson County, you go take a look at those farms and put a proposal together for them. So it's, it's nice, half and half. Some work on the computer, but a lot out in the woods and on the ground. Yeah,
it's nice. It's nice to be outdoors. I mean, as outdoorsmen, we love the whole, how do I tie hunting into a business? Well, you find a lot of hunters getting into the land business because of the recreational land aspect.
Absolutely.
Is that kind of your background too? Did you come from a hunting background?
Yeah, yep, you bet. So this farm we're on here, actually, I shot my first deer right back here when I was 9 and had the opportunity to purchase. So yeah, I started hunting when I was young. My dad, raised me hunting, so that's definitely the foundation for me.
Yeah, because I think you were telling me when I first got here that you had just broken into the NFL and you were back here talking to the landowner. Yeah. And, you had to make a quick decision there at the door.
Yeah, yep, you bet. She offered it, kind of said she was ready to sell the farm and asked if I was interested in purchasing. And I was like, well, let me make the team here so I could afford it first. And it all worked together. It worked out pretty nice.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. So what types of people do you typically find buying land now? I mean, we read all these, glaring headlines about, Bill Gates is buying everything, et cetera, this kind of over-the-top stuff to get you to click on a YouTube video. No doubt. What's really the guts of the land that you're selling? Who's it going to?
Yeah, so a lot of the farms that we've been selling around here, Dubuque, Delaware County, Clayton, Jackson, is mostly just the local farmers. Typically they're the neighbor and they're us. We are the same as them. I'm interested in buying more ground, so. Yeah. It's easy to relate to them. A lot of people don't want these big investors coming in and buying land, or China or whatever, so it's us. It's no different than myself or you. We're all the same people that grew up here and love the land. Yeah,
because it's obviously being in this business, the number one passion is land.
Absolutely.
So you don't want to see that wonderful resource sort of get, I won't say diminished, but exploited.
Right.
You kind of like to see it stay in the hands of the locals if possible. You like to see it be in the hands of people who love land, who are going to take care of it.
Appreciate it.
Yep. So it's not just corporations that are buying land.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
you know, obviously you could have been a real estate agent anywhere.
Right.
You know, what brought you back home again? I guess home, but why do you love this part of the country?
Yeah, so, you know, I played football from East Coast to West Coast, Foxborough, Philly to Seattle. You know, I covered a lot of ground, saw a lot of different country. And, you know, the recreational aspects of like Colorado, Wyoming, Montana is super attractive, but at the same time, it's still not as productive as this ground. What attracted me back home and to this area is the productivity of the land. You know, not just agricultural purposes, but you know, we can grow some of the best black walnut trees in the world, and then on top of that, we got wildlife. You know, excellent populations of wildlife.
Yeah, yeah. And but your focus isn't, you said 50-50 roughly between recreational land and just hardcore tillable land.
Right.
So it's kind of nice to be able to speak both languages.
Absolutely, yeah. A lot of the farms that I've sold, mostly they all go to live auction, are mostly tillable ground. Anything that's you know 75% or more tillable, it's best to send it to live auction in the current market.
Interesting. Well, that's good. Yeah, it's been a pleasure learning more about you and really understanding what the lifestyle is like. Is there anything else that you can think of that you know you'd like for people to know? I mean, like I said, it's always been a curiosity for me to see, you know, how do you guys actually live and
Right.
what does a day look like?
Yeah. The one thing that just sticks out to me is the flexibility of your job. The one thing also, there is some negatives, like you're going to be answering your phone whenever you're awake, basically.
Yeah.
But other than that, you know, you still control you can step away for a week if you need to.
Yeah.
And not, you know, hurt too much. There's
Yeah.
people that can cover you.
Or your son's got a football game at, you know, out of town and you got to leave at 3 o'clock.
Right.
Or whatever.
Yep.
I mean, you don't have to worry about clocking out.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep, there's just work that needs to be done, and if you get it done in the middle of the day when everybody else is working or at 9 o'clock at night, as long as it gets done, it doesn't matter.
No, that's really cool.
Super flexible.
Yeah, so we appreciate you joining us this week, and we're going to keep bringing these tips to you. And I know Matt and I have some more stuff we're going to talk about before we wrap up today.
Yeah, absolutely.